As of the recording of this video, the latest Death Battle episode only came out 2 hours ago, Spider-Man vs. Deku. This is a sort of long-awaited matchup, probably the most popular for both in recent times, and is generally speaking, was fairly hyped from what I've seen. Me personally, I wasn't very excited for it. The analysis previews didn't seem great, and the fight animation trailer, from what we saw, didn't look all that spectacular either. I understand it was Moro's first foray into a full 3D fight, but it didn't look all that interesting to me. So going into this, I wasn't really expecting anything quite great. And unfortunately, I think that held true. The analysis for Spider-Man is pretty flat, in all honesty. There were some great gags with the loving parents joke, the general but a few good jokes don't really stop this analysis from being paced poorly. Very fast, doesn't cover a lot that you would expect. Well, I mean, not that you would expect, I guess more so just I thought it would be longer. Both of them are pretty short, and the lack of calcs is a little weird. Like, there's just only one number throughout the entire analysis, and I find that odd, just considering, you know, how often we get calcs and feats and such in the most recent episodes. I could just be wrong on this, but I really think they could have done with a couple more calcs here and there. The transition to Deku's analysis, though, that was great. Love that. Do more stuff like that. That was fantastic. As for the analysis itself, Deku's is better than Miles's for sure. It covers the story better. It's a little funnier. I love the boomstick simping joke. That was great. I love well, I wouldn't say love, but I do appreciate some of the jokes. I like the joke about the shipping that they threw in there. That was great. But yeah, it was good. It was just a good analysis. I don't really have many strong opinions on it. It wasn't particularly exciting, but it wasn't particularly bad. It was just as good as you would expect, I think. The lack of calcs this episode in general was very strange. I think it was to make it seem less like of a complete stomp, but yeah, it was definitely like, where were they? The fight itself has a pretty interesting opening. I like the comic book aesthetic they go for, and I like the setup, kind of. I mean, I think you could think of more interesting reasons for them to fight than a spar, but it works. I think it gets the job done. But honestly, after that, you can kind of see the whole problem I have with this fight. It's just so stiff in the animation. Like, their legs hardly move. The models in general just aren't moving that much, which is very strange for these two characters. They're pretty acrobatic, at least in the manga, Deku is. Maybe he's much more still in the anime, but no, in the Spider-Verse movies and basically everything you can see these two in, they're moving like crazy. But here, all this like web slinging and such, they're just so stiff, and that extends to a lot of the fisticuffs too. Like when they're swinging around the city and such. I do appreciate the little Batman versus Spider-Man nod right near the middle, before they transition to the abandoned city, which I find the whole setup for that a little odd. Like they just have to specify that it's an abandoned city, as if we couldn't tell from the broken down buildings. I find it weird that they had to like just throw in that line there. It's kind of goes hand in hand with another criticism I'll get to later. But for now, you see this abandoned city, and they do some more fighting. Deku throws the building, and that was pretty cool actually. I like that a lot. But afterward, the fight really like slows down in pace, which I mean, it already wasn't the fastest paced fight ever, but like now it's just like they're just kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's like all the punches are super slow. There's hardly any like impact given to each individual hit. They're not hitting each other fast enough to warrant the lack of impact. A lot of the moments that are supposed to be like big moments sort of fall flat to me. Like the part where they're both jumping at each other is cool looking, but I don't know. It's just there wasn't much build up to it. It was just kind of a Spider Verse shout, and that's about it. I would have preferred they picked something different if it meant it would flow better. Um, the The lighting on some of these scenes is very good though. Like I cannot diss the lighting. Moro did a great job with the background work. But no, I just don't like the second half of the fight much at all. I just think it lacks weight and lacks like flow because they're trying to build up to that ending. Because you hear Deku talking about the shock absorption, which I think that's why there's so many impactless punches. But there again, I don't think there's enough. Like there's so many, but it doesn't really feel like there was enough impact to warrant the death, which we're about to get to. Yeah, it was pretty lame. The death. I don't love it. I mean, it's basically the same one as Miles versus Static, but I don't know. It's kind of strange. Just I like it's all off screen. Like there's no nothing. I mean, I guess he got evaporated, but could have seen like his skeleton pop up for a second or something. So it's just like it doesn't just end. Like it just feels so anticlimactic, which is weird because they have the whole you truly are ultimate with the gorgeous manga backgrounds, by the way. Um, but I think more like impact and weight to it in the fight itself would really help because I like the setup to it where they're like both punching at each other. It's like the Saitama versus Popeye death. But I think that is the impact is truly lessened if you don't see the killing blow like fully affect Miles there. It's just kind of ends. So yeah, that's why I didn't think the fight itself was that good. But there's some other tertiary factors I think kind of dragged it down from what the score I was going to give it to the score I'm going to give it. I don't like the voice direction. Deku especially sounds like a weird impression. I'm sure it was just a direction thing, and the actors are perfectly fine. I just didn't like either of them. The lines were pretty corny. Most of them were just spouting references at each other, which can work. In this case, I think it was one of the times where it just flat out doesn't. I think the two could have more interesting back and forth about their powers or abilities or just what they do. The track is pretty good though. I really like You Say Danger. I don't think it's one of the best this year, but it's up there for sure. Um, so I think in general, final score, I don't know, like a five. Yeah, I gave it a five in the Death Battle server, and I think I'm gonna stick to that. It has good elements, it has bad elements, but I wasn't in love with it. Obviously, I mean most of this video was critiques, but there also were a lot of things I did genuinely love, like the lighting, the mostly like the lighting, the framing. The framing was really good. Like the camera work was excellent. Um, I hope Moro does more 3D stuff in the future because he's really good at playing with the camera around these 3D models to add tension. And in terms of incorporating 2D elements, they were really well done. I like all the lightning effects and all that kind of thing. Um, so overall, it wasn't the best I've ever seen. Definitely not the worst I've ever seen. Uh, I haven't posted a Kickstarter ranking to YouTube yet, but I currently have this second worst above Kratos versus Asura, which I also gave a five for similar reasons. Good camera work, good lighting, good atmosphere, but bad actual fighting. So yeah, overall 5 out of 10. Probably the worst of the no wait no Kratos versus Asura was this year. Never mind. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts on the matter. In terms of the next time, Godzilla versus Hulk. I honestly didn't expect this one so early, but I guess Delval Artemis did talk about how he's working on it, so it makes sense. Um, I my hopes for it. I want to see. I hope the analyses for both are very comprehensive. I feel like this one won't be a draw, even though I see a lot of people predicting that. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be something where they have a conclusion that none of us have really drawn yet. Um, talking about factors that we haven't considered because we're not really the researchers here. I'll check out the G1 blog when it comes out, obviously. Um, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be great. I have a ton of faith in the team. Uh, yeah, thank you for watching, as always. I call to action, I guess, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys in the next one, whatever that ends up being.